Question from YouTube, and again, a lot of the questions on this channel do come from YouTube, so post yours below, and who knows, you might be next. How does one get real good at sexual attention without being creepy? Ignoring the grammar mistake in that. There's this idea that escalating sexually is creepy, and it certainly does not have to be. In fact, a lot of times if you have intention towards having sex with a girl and you're hiding it and trying to be subtle about it, that will actually make it more creepy than just coming out with it. But I think the best answer to this question really has to do with calibration. It has to do with not going too far too fast. Because if, like, so as guys, when we see a girl, we're attracted immediately. Like, she's hot, I'm attracted to her, I'd like to have sex with her. It's like on or off like a light switch. Girls, it's more like a dimmer switch. They need to be around you and absorb your personality and see who you are, and they'll get more attracted the longer you act attractively around them. And the reason for this is that they're judging you on a lot of criteria and a lot of things besides your appearance. So they need to have time to evaluate those things. So what will happen, or what guys will do wrong, is they see a girl and they immediately come on really, really strong, right? They get very physical very fast, is one of the creepiest ways, or they come on really strong verbally, like overtly sexual in the first like 30 seconds of meeting a girl. And that is creepy because the girl is not ready for it. The girl hasn't indicated any readiness for it. But then, because a lot of guys are afraid of being creepy, they will just not escalate at all, and then they end up in like the 30-minute conversation to nowhere, or the 6-month relationship to nowhere, where they end up being the girl's platonic best friend that she cries about her asshole boyfriend to. So, what's the answer? The answer is to escalate, but to escalate really, really, really slowly, and specifically in really, really small moves. So let's take maybe an initial greeting. So a lot of times when guys watch my infield footage, they think, Todd, you got so physical so fast. How did that happen? Well, a lot of times, maybe what I'll do is I say hi to the girl, and I introduce myself, and maybe I shake her hand, right? Very typical whatever thing. But there's little things that go on from there. One, the eye contact and tonality and stuff like that is, you know, a little bit flirtatious, playful, whatever. But then let's say I take her hand. Most guys, when they shake hands with a girl, I do this like hello, business-like handshake. What I do is I take the girl's hand like this, sort of like you're leading her in dancing. I call it the man-to-woman handshake. But immediately when you turn your hand like that, take her hand and turn it like that, it feels different, and it feels slightly man-to-woman, not business-like, not friend-to-friend. It's a different kind of a thing, but it's very, very subtle, right? If you did do the man-to-woman handshake on a girl and she wasn't really receptive and she tensed up, you would immediately drop it, and it wouldn't be a big deal. And it's not a physical escalation that is creepy or over the top or that could get you a rejection, but it did indicate that it's a man-to-woman thing, not a friend-to-friend thing. Now, let's say she responded positively to the man-to-woman handshake. Well, then you might just ever so slightly put a little pressure on your hand and pull her towards you. And again, if she resisted or like tensed up or anything like that, you would then drop it. But if she didn't, you could pull her towards you, and now she's coming towards you. And from this and from like a few steps beyond it, oftentimes I'll end up like embracing a girl or even kissing a girl within seconds of opening her, right? But I didn't just grab the girl and grope her and try for a kiss. So it escalated very, very fast. But it didn't escalate in one step. It escalated in maybe 5 smaller steps, each of which, had there been a negative reaction, that would have been the end of it. I would have dropped it, stopped, backed off. And that's the process I'm just generally going through throughout the entire interaction, is I'm constantly escalating, but I'm escalating in these tiny, just minuscule ways that don't even feel like escalations really. And if it's received positively, that's an indication I can go a little further. If that's received positively, I can go a little further. If that's received positively, I can go a little further. But I'm always playing well within the envelope of what's been allowed and approved of, but I am pushing that envelope gradually forward. And that's what you want to do. There's an old school concept in game that kind of illustrates this. It's not entirely accurate in the phrasing, but the idea is good. It's called 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The idea is you escalate a little bit more, and then back off and let it breathe. Then escalate a little bit, escalate a little more, back off and let it breathe. It'd be better if you didn't go to the edge where you do have to actually back it off. But the idea that escalation is not just pushing as fast as you can, and that there is this idea of letting it breathe and being patient, is very, very important. So the concept behind 2 steps forward and 1 step back is a very, very good one. And that's the concept of calibration. That's the concept of taking your time, doing what the girl will kind of allow, and understanding that the girl's attraction for you is a dimmer switch. So you can only escalate as far as the light has kind of been turned up to. And it's going to be a gradual process. It's going to be a slow, steady escalation. And again, if you do ever step over the line, you're going to back off, stop. You can even say, I'm sorry if you have to, or I was just kidding, or something like that, if absolutely necessary. But again, it's better not to even get to that point where there is a rejection, right? So the solution to escalating without being creepy is to escalate in such small increments it cannot be creepy, and to escalate as the girl is getting more and more ready, being attuned to how she's thinking, what she's feeling, those different kind of things as you go.